Due to the back and forth between the Republicans and the Democrats, I decided to tune out most of the noise relating to the stimulus bill until I knew that we had something that would actually pass the House of Representatives and the Senate. That's why I was pretty disappointed when I first saw that they decided on a measly stimulus check of just $600 considering how long this has been going on. There's even a bunch of memes on Twitter that's showing how people really feel about this stimulus bill. But as the days passed and my soul got weary, I thought it would be a really good time to actually dive into the whole bill to see what our fantastical government is doing for us. And the more I read into it, the more I became more comfortable with what they were doing as a whole. So sure, $600 is not a lot of money considering how long this has been going on. However, there's a lot of benefits in the package that I think more than make up for it. And before we dive into that, I'm going to share with you how to go about getting your $600 stimulus check. And then we'll dive into how I went from boo, our government really sucks, to close enough. Okay, I've delayed you guys long enough, but not as long as our government has. I'll be here all night. Okay, I'll stop and we can actually get into what we're actually here for. Okay, so first up, if you've received your first and only stimulus check via direct deposit and your banking activity hasn't changed, you actually don't need to do anything and you can expect your money to hit your bank accounts the week of December 28th with no later than December 31st. So it's gonna happen that week of December 28th, and the latest it should happen is December 31st. Now, if you're not sure because the whole year has been a blur that you all just want to forget about, you can check which account it went to on the IRS website, which I'll have linked below. If your banking information has changed, you're actually out of luck. Nah, I'm joking. Maybe. The website hasn't been updated at the time that I've made this video, but the very same link that I just provided with you guys will have a way to edit how you want your money to be deposited. If you received your stimulus payment by check, and I'm not sure why anyone in the world would want to do that, but if that's you, you can expect a check no later than January 11th. You should have got direct deposit. You should probably invest in a bank account and stop being in Nathaniel. I struggle saying that word. On top of that, I can't believe I kind of missed this part, but you actually get an additional $600 for each dependent that you have under the age of 18. And the same rules as the last stimulus check apply. If you make over $75,000, you will receive $5 less for every $100 over you are on that limit. Now, if you're in a joint household, it changes, and I'll post that stuff below, the nitty gritty. But for the most part, you guys should know what it is because you've gotten one already. So we hope. But now that we get that easy stuff out the way, I want to talk about why the $600 is actually enough. On its own, $600 wouldn't be able to make a dent in 1 month's rent. With rent protection only being extended to the end of January of 2021, the housing market was looking like it was going to do an economic collapse, with people being unable to afford their rent or to pay back the rent that they owed when the government first stepped in and gave renters protection. But now, the latest stimulus bill will allow rents that have been missed for 12 months of back pay, which actually extends beyond when the actual crisis started and up to 3 months of future rent payments. So to break that down, if you've missed rent this month, the government will allow you to come and say, hey, I missed it. I couldn't afford it. I lost my job. I'm unemployed. You guys have extended that I can't get kicked out from where I live, but I still can't pay back what I owe. So how do we handle this? And they're going to pay up to 12 months worth of your back rent and then 3 more months of your rent if necessary. And rent here also includes utilities, which I think is a huge bonus that's actually more important than the $600 that everyone's going to be getting. And the reason why I feel like it's so important is because people who are unable to find work where the unemployment rate has been steadily decreasing will still be getting an extra $300 on top of their regular unemployment benefits, which averages out to be $380 by itself, which works out to be $680 combined per week. That's a total of $1,520 while having the last 12 months of rent paid if they were behind, 3 more months it paid if needed, and they would still qualify for the $600 stimulus check plus $600 for each dependent that they have. And I think that's pretty huge when you tally it all up together. And it led me to the conclusion that this stimulus bill is focused on those who really need it, and it will be handed out first to those in low income areas, and doing it this way just makes more sense to me. In fact, if the government continues to print way more money than it needs, it would have a bigger negative long-term impact on the American economy. Let's look at the American economy as if it were toilet paper, since we're all familiar with what happens when people go crazy over toilet paper. There were instances of one roll of toilet paper costing $10 because everyone lost their minds and bought all the stock. Similarly, if there's too much money in supply, not only does that weaken the value of each individual dollar, it will also cause prices to skyrocket as the demand for these products will outperform our ability to manufacture more. So because we couldn't keep up with the demand for toilet paper, it caused the prices of these toilet papers to increase, even though there are laws set in place to stop that. But with money, there aren't laws in general to slow this down. So if you make $10 an hour and the government keeps printing the money how they are printing now, then it will slowly start to feel like you're making $8 an hour, even though you're getting paid $10 an hour. And I know a lot of you are going to be going against me on this one, but really take the time to stop and think about it. The reason why money today doesn't go as far as money did 100 years ago is because the amount of money in supply now has been increasing. So if we continue to increase the money supply, it will cause inflation to happen even faster than it naturally does. And that's not to say that the government shouldn't be doing what they are doing, but that is to say that the government needs to be very careful with how much they are doing in order to both protect the short-term outcomes as well as the long-term outcomes for America. It's really, really important. With that being said, if you guys just stumbled here looking for stimulus information, I do want to give you some information about what my channel generally is about. It's about me, a millennial. I'm 28 years old, turning 29 in January, and I'm in debt. I'm in debt about $60,000 plus or minus, and I'm tracking my way out of it. In fact, I'm going to start tracking how I went from being in debt to being a millionaire, and I'm going to do a video on that very soon. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you smash that like button. I'm all about financial peace and helping other people get there, even when it seems like it's something that they will never be able to achieve. So follow me on my journey. You gotta subscribe to do that, and you gotta smash that like button so we can get this video in front of other people who might need information about the stimulus checks or information about getting out of debt. So see you guys around. Peace.